So in this video what we are trying to do is that we are going to create a form in the Visual Studio, and using that form, say for example a login form in Visual Studio, and when we enter the data in the login form, okay, that has to be reflected back into the database. So we are going to see how a form, Windows form, can be directly connected to a Visual Studio backend, the SQL Server backend. So this is what we are going to see. And here so I have opened the SQL Server Management Studio, and I'm going to connect it to the database. So database is now connected, so I'm going to create a new database. Okay, so I will give it as SQL uh, SQL VS DB. Okay, SQL VS DB, and then I'm going to click OK. So a new DB is created. Now I'm going to add the query onto it. So I'm right clicking on the database which is already created here, and then clicking on the new query. Okay, it generates a new query editor, and in that I'm going to create a new table. Okay, so the table name is nothing but names, so I'm just putting it as name. Okay, so a new table is going to be, so I'm going to save this query. So if you want to save this query, you can save it. Okay, and then I'm going to execute that. So the commands completed successfully. That means that you are basically creating a table with two attributes. One is the first name and the second one is the last name. Okay, and in the SQL query you could see in the tables, okay, you could see the dbo.name. Okay, so when I right click on that and select the design, it will show you the design of the table as ID, the first name and the last name. Okay, we don't have any data entered onto it, so there is nothing to display. Say if you simply give select star from name, okay, I'm giving it as select star from name. Okay, if I select this particular query and execute it, nothing will be there, it will simply throw you the structure. And now I'm going to enter a particular data. So say this is the data, copy, I'm just copying it here. Okay, my table name is name. Okay, so first name, last name, Siniraj Pulari, and I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save this. Fine, I'm just replacing everything because I already have a copy. So I'm just copying that and executing it. So one row is affected, that means something has happened. So now I'm clicking on the DBO name. Okay, DBO name, and select rows. So what happens is that, okay, one row has been inserted into the table, right? So this is our database. So we have a database with just one table. Okay, that is a name table. Okay, so we have just one database with one table. So this is the design of the table. Okay, and this is the the rows in the table, right? So this is the table name. Okay, and we have given it as SQL VSDB. Now we are going back to, so this is our database. So this database we are trying to connect from VS. Okay, so I'm gonna start the Visual Studio and just waiting for the while till it open. Yeah, I'm gonna create a new project. So it might take a while. So once it is opened, then I'm gonna select the Windows Form Application .NET Framework. Okay, Windows Form App .NET Framework. So I have actually selected it multiple times. I have worked with it multiple times, so it is getting displayed here. Otherwise, what you could do is you could just select it here. You can search for the Windows Form, and you already know that. So this is the one which I'm selecting, basically Windows Form App .NET Framework, and I'm just giving next. So I'm gonna give a name for it. Say SQL VS DB. Okay, so this is the name that I'm going to choose, and make sure that you choose the highest framework with 4.2 create. So the Visual Studio project with the basic form which is in the .NET framework is getting generated. Okay, so this is your basic form which you know already. Okay, so when you run this, it will run and it will simply give you the basic form which is there. Okay, so it's working properly. So now what you have to do is that I want the toolbox. So where can I get the toolbox? From the view I can go to the toolbox here. Okay, and I want only the Windows form app, all the issues in the Windows forms. So the controls in the forms. So I'm going to have two labels. Okay, I'm going to have two labels, and I need two text boxes. So, two text boxes. Okay, so I'm just trying to create something like a normal a login form. Then I need a button. I need a button which is here. So this is what I want. So now I need the label properties. So going to the view and opening the properties window and clicking on the label. So I am going back to the label and changing the name. I'm changing the name as first name. First name. So you could see that it is changed here. So if you want to slightly change the way it looks, you could go and change here. If you want to change the text color, you can go and change here. So that's all up to you. Okay, it's too dark, so I don't want it as too light as this. So I want a better color, so I will just go for the black itself. Okay, so the flat style, if you want, you could actually change it to something like a pop-up or something like that. Okay, so these are the controls which I'm going to give, and now I'm going to check on to the label 2. So I am changing it as the last name. And again the border style, I'm just doing the minimal ones, fixed, and the control, let it be like that, and the flat style, I'm just changing it to pop up again. Okay, so now the last name and the first name, if you want to change the size of it, you can just scroll down and change the size here, but I'm not going into all those. Okay, and this is the first name. So if you want to change it as multi-line, it is possible. You could change it here so that you could change the the size of the text boxes. So if you want to change the size of the text box, you could do that if you are making it into multi-line. So you could just arrange your buttons and everything and make it look more beautiful. So that's up to you. So that's just the beautification work which you could do always. That's up to you, up to your imagination. You could change that, or up to the requirement you could change. And then you have the button. So I'm just making it as a big button because we have only very few things here, right? So this is what my form look like. So I will enter the first name here, I will enter the last name in this box, and I will click on the button. So now I'm going to the button. So I want my button to be called as submit button. Submit. So that is the only change which I'm going to do. Okay, so if I run this, I'm just saving it and I'm just running it. So I will get a simple form which will ask you for the first name and the last name, and when you click on to submit, something will happen, right? So now the first thing which I wanted to do is that, so now my form is ready and I do have a SQL Server database. Now I want to connect both of them. So we have already seen the different ways for you to connect the Visual Studio with the backend. So here I'm going to the view and looking for the Server Explorer. Okay, so I already I have got 1 dB, so I'm just deleting it to show you from the scratch. Okay, so I'm clicking on the data connections, I'm right clicking on it, I'm adding a connection, and as I have told earlier, always make sure that you are selecting this SQL, Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so make sure that you are actually using this Microsoft SQL Server, the SQL client, and then you need to select the SQL Server name. So if you don't know the SQL Server name, what is the easier way? Yes, you have to go back to the the database SQL Server, the main server, and go to the properties. So when you go to the properties, you could see the name. Okay, select the name, copy that, and use it in your Visual Studio. I'm going back to the Visual Studio, and in the server name, I'm going to give that particular name. Okay, so we are no more using the Windows authentication. Okay, so we are using the SQL Server authentication, and I'm going to use the default server which is there, so SA, and I'm going to give the password for it. Okay, so I'm just trying to save the password, and when I connect to this particular database. Okay, so it has got various, so AdventureWorks, the books.mdf, MyDB, production bike, there are so many DBs available. So I want everything to be listed there in my Visual Studio. So if I'm connecting to this, then everything which comes under that database will be reflected here. Yes, it is all reflected here, and here I'm going to, yeah, so always make sure that whenever you do some additions to your database, you need to refresh it. Okay, always make sure that you need to refresh your database connection. Only when you refresh your database connection, you will be able to reflect the changes here in this particular database. So that is one thing which you have to always keep in mind. Okay, so my DB name is SQL Vis DB, so I'm going to click on that. Okay, so this is the database. See here, the database name is SQL Vis DB, so this is the DB which I want. So in the in the Visual Studio, I am selecting that. Okay, and I'm going to before clicking on the OK, it is always a better practice to check on the connection. Yes, the test connection succeeded. Okay, so now I'm clicking on the advanced. I need something. Okay, I'm clicking on the advanced. There is something here. The data source name is actually given here. This is actually required for us. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that, and I'm just putting it in a WordPad because I need to use that for a later operation. So I'm just going to use that here. I'm just going to copy paste that here. Okay, so then click OK. So everything is done. So I have selected the Microsoft's SQL Server SQL client, and the correct server name is selected. Then SQL Server authentication is selected. The username and the password is given. The needed DB is selected, and I checked on the test connection. Yes, it is succeeded. So everything is all good for me to go. So I'm just clicking on OK. So the database is basically connected here. So now I'm just going to give a small refresh operation so that the DB is reflected here. So I could see the SQL with the VSDB and its corresponding database is listed here. So if I want to see the definition of the table, I can click on it so that it will show me the structure of the database. It will take some time. Yes, all these operations takes a bit of a time, so you should have kind of a patience. And even though the database structure is really small, as it is loading for the first time, it will take some time. So you could see the ID, the attributes here, ID, first name and the last name, and its corresponding data types. And I'm gonna try the show table data. So when I click on show table data, it will show you the data which is already there in the table. We have only one data. Okay, so that is basically shown here, right? Okay, so our database connection is successful now. Now what I need to do is that the main thing what I have to do is, like, I need to enter something in the first name, I need to enter something in the last name. That changes has to be reflected here in my DB, right? That has to be reflected here. So if I enter something there, that data has to be reflected here as the first name and the last name. That is what we are trying to do. Okay, so that operation will happen, right? That updation has to happen when we click on the submit button, right? So when we click on the submit button, whatever I have entered as the first name and the last name, that has to be saved in the database. So what do we need to do? So we need to program the submit button, right? So I'm just double clicking on it so that we can go back to the code where we could actually update it. So always understand, when you want to achieve a database connection, you have certain steps to be followed. Okay, so you have certain steps to be followed. So the steps which you have to follow is basically this one. I will show you that. Okay, so there are few steps which you have to do. So you need to get the address. So I'll just type it here. So there are few steps which you have to do. So the first step is nothing but get the address of SQL server. Okay, get the address of SQL server. So that is the first thing which you have to do. So you have to get the address of the SQL server. Okay, SQL server database. So that is the first step. Okay, so I'm just making it as 1. This is the first step. Now there is another thing which you have to do. The second step which you have to do is that, okay, you need to establish the connection. Okay, you need to establish the connection. So establish the database and VS connection. So that is the second thing which you have to do. And the third one which you have to do is that you have to open the connection. Open the connection. Then the fourth one which you have to do is here. So the second one, the third one is opening. Then you have to prepare your query or set up the query. Set up the appropriate query. Okay, you have to set up the appropriate query. And the fifth one is as simple as that. Close the connection. Okay, so these are the steps which you have to keep in mind when you connect the Visual Studio with the database. Okay, so these are the steps which you have to follow, and make sure that you are confined, you are actually doing all these steps properly. Okay, so let's start with, so I have anyway coded and kept the codes here. So the first thing what you have to do is that you need to start with a connection string. Okay, so what you have to do is that you need to get the address of your address of the SQL server. So I'm just closing this for the time being. So how did you get the connection, how did you get the what is that, the connection string? Okay, so the connection string where you are getting it is nothing but, okay, when you are connecting your database to the when you are connecting your, say if I click on modify connection, okay, if you have this this connection will be popping up, this window will be popped up. So when you click on the advanced, if you remember, I have actually saved whatever it is there here, I have actually saved. Okay, so I'm just saving it again, and that would act as my connection string. So basically what I am doing is, okay, basically what I am doing is I am telling the connection that, okay, go to this particular database connection, and whenever you are using the server name, in the connection string you have to give it as double slash. Okay, otherwise some error will occur. Okay, so make sure that you're giving a double slash here. So normally when you copy, it will be like this. So you have to give a double slash. So each and everything are very small things, but you know, if you are not putting that particular small slash there, it will throw you up with lot of errors later. Okay, and then your DB is nothing but SQL with DB, this VSDB, this is the one which you are going to use. And persist, so security info equal to true, and this one, and you know, your user ID is basically SA. Okay, so if it poses some issue, we will try to, yeah, redundant assignment. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is that I'm going to use this. Okay, so string connection string, sorry, connection string. Okay, so when I copy this, I'm just slightly modifying a little bit here. So my DB name is basically SQL, it is SQL VSDB, and I'm giving this as integrated security is equal to true. Okay, and here there is some issue which is coming up. Yeah, the connection string is assigned, but its value is never used. Yes, we have not used till, so just wait for some time. Okay, so we cannot do anything because we have not yet used it. So this is how you will assign the address of the SQL server in your Visual Studio. Okay, now what is the next thing which you have to do? Now you have to establish the database and the VS connection. So how can you establish the database? So for that, what you have to do is that you have two things to be done. So one is you have to import, you know, a new thing that is nothing but using system.sql client. Okay, you have to import this. Then you need to create a new object. Okay, you need to create a new object. So the first thing which you have to do is that you need to go back to your import statements. Go back to the import statements and using system.sql client. Okay, so this is what you have to do. The first thing which you have to do is this one. Okay, and then okay, so you could just save them. Now you have to go back here and first create a new connection. Okay, so for creating the new connection, okay, this is the code which you have to use. So you have to use this SQL connection. Okay, whatever be the name, you can create one particular name. Okay, so you are using the SQL connection. Okay, SQL connection, and then whatever con or whatever it is, you could just give the name in the way you want, and new SQL connection with the connection string. Okay, so here it is actually pausing some small issue. We would just see what is the issue which it is pausing. We'll just click on to it. Okay, so using, yeah, so it's actually asking, like, you know, you have to use, yeah, system dot, okay, fine, so we will just remove this. Okay, probably, so system dot data dot SQL client, so this is what it requires. Okay, fine, so we will change that so that that error is gone. Okay, and now, so now you have actually created a new connection object, and the name of the new connection object is CONN. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to establish the connection. So for that, the line of the code is, yeah, now you are going to open the connection. Okay, so that's done. So now you are going to open the connection. So here CONN dot open, so you have opened the connection. Then you need to set up the query, right? So what you have to do basically is, okay, I will just copy this and then I will explain you what it is. Okay, So what you are basically doing is that, say this is your form, right? So from the first form you need to retrieve the data, from the second form you need to retrieve the data, and when you submit it you need to basically update it in the database. So that is what you have to do. Okay, so I'm clicking on this, I'm going to the properties window. So what is the name of my text box? The text box which is used here, what is the name of the text box? 1. Okay, so my name is text box 1. So I'm going back here. So I'm taking the text box 1.text, and in the second one, that is this one. Okay, when I click on this, what is the name of the second text box? Text box is text box 2. So I'm taking the text box 2.text. Okay, so basically what we have done is we have taken the text box 1.text and 2.text, and now we are going to insert that. Okay, so what we are planning to do is that we are inserting that into the table. Okay, so this is the query which will insert the values onto the table. Okay, we are inserting the values onto the table. Like, what are the values which you are going to insert? Whatever be the value which is inserted by the users, like text box 1.text and text box 2.text, whatever be the value, that has to be inserted as your first name and the last name, right? So this value is basically this text box 1.text, and this value is nothing but text box 2.text, right? So that has to be inserted. So we are using the appending operation in order to insert it, right? So that is nothing but your query. Okay, now now the next statement is nothing but, yes, we have actually left out one step in between. So that is nothing but executing the query. Okay, so I will just I will just copy all this. Okay, executing the query. So here, yes, so I'm going to execute the query. So this is the fourth one, then this is the fifth one. Fifth one is basically executing the query. Okay, executing the query, and then the sixth one is basically finally closing the query, closing the connection. Okay, so for executing the query, you are basically creating a new command. Okay, new command object. So that new command object, what it will do is it will take this query and it will take this connection. So this connection will be established. Upon the established connection, you will execute this particular query and you will execute it. So once you have executed it, once everything is fine, then you will close the connection. And this message box is nothing but when you submit, when everything is done successfully, then this message will be displayed. So it's just a message box, like data is successfully saved in the database. Okay, so basically here what we are doing is that we have a form design where we have the first name and the last name. So we will take the first name and we will take the last name, and when we click on the submit button, what we have to do, that is what we have done. So we are establishing the connection. So we are actually getting the connection, establishing the connection, we are opening the connection, and then whatever be the query that is to be implemented, that is actually given here, that is passed here, and then we execute that particular query upon the connection. Then finally, if everything is done, we will close the connection, and we have a small message box when everything is done. In order for us to know that everything is successful and everything is done properly, we will make sure that this data is this message box is popped up. Now let's start. Okay, we will just try running this. So when we run this, yes, it is asking for the name. So I'm just trying it as Ahmed, and I'm say giving it as Ali, and I'm giving submit. Okay, so now what happened is that it is actually throwing us an error. Yes, so the error here is that just a second. Yeah, so the error here says that invalid object names. Okay, we will just go back because we have done a small mistake here, because I have just copy pasted it from the previous one in the box. Okay, here in our original database, basically the name of the table is name, it's not names. Okay, so I have not changed it, so it's a small mistake which I have done. So whenever you have some errors, just go back and try to rectify it altogether. Everything should be fine. Okay, so don't get panicked by seeing the errors. Just try to read the error and understand what it is and run it again. So now I'm again going to give the name. So Ahmed, and I'm just going to give the second name as Ali, and I'm going to click submit. Yes, so the message box, so everything is done. What we plan to do is that, okay, data is successfully saved in the database. So we need to know that whether it is actually saved in the database. Okay, so for that we will first refresh it. Okay, and then we are going to show the table data. So okay, it is not updated here, so I'm just going back to the table here, and here it is. I'm just going to refresh the table. Okay, and I'm going back here, and I'm going to show the select. Yes, so it is actually updated here. So Ahmed and Ali has been updated as the first name and the last name here. Okay, so now I'm saving it. Okay, fine. So I'm just saving it. I'm again going back here and show the table data. It might take some time, so you can refresh it. Okay, so sorry, I didn't refresh it basically, so that's why I couldn't see the data. So when I refresh it, I could see the updated data here. So I will run once again. So I'm going back to the VS now. I'm going to start the program, and I'm going to give, say, Fatima, okay, and Muhammad. Okay, Fatima Muhammad. Okay, I'm submitting it. So data is successfully saved in the database. Okay, so I'm going to stop the connection, and I'm going to refresh it here. So when I refresh it, you could see that data is actually updated here. Now we need to know whether it is actually updated in the backend. So I'm going back to this SQL Viz DB in the SQL Server Management Studio, and I'm going to refresh it once. Okay, then I'm going to the tables, and in the table I'm going to select the first few rows. So you could see that the Fatima Muhammad, the data has been updated. Alright, so this is a small example which will help you to understand. Say if you have a small login page, okay, so what you have done is that you have created the login page, and you have connected the Visual Studio with the SQL server, and you are adding some particular data in the form, and that data is basically getting updated at the backend in the SQL server, right? So this is what you have done. So this is actually a small example, a small part which will be helpful for your project. So now you could actually explore more onto it. So this is basically the major part of the the DB connection. So we have seen like how we can actually download the SQL server, then how to download the SQL Management Studio, then how to connect it with the Visual Studio. There are various ways of connecting it with the Visual Studio, right, that we have seen. And then we have actually created a form, and if you want to update something through the form, how that updations could be seen in the backend. Okay, so these are the various things which we have seen, and all these will be completely helpful for you during the project. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts, you can always get back to me. Thanks a lot.